Tesla earnings is due out today, and this could propel price over the $300 mark, increasing the already 11% move we've seen this month. So let's take a deep dive into the charts for Tesla. The top left-hand chart is the monthly time frame. We have the green line, which is last year's high, and the red line, which is last year's low. We have the weekly time frame in the top right hand corner and the daily time frame along the bottom. And on these two time frames, we have trend filter colors, so green when we are bullish, red bearish, and gray when we are seeing a correction. So I'm going to open up the monthly time frame for Tesla. We can see it's been on quite a volatile journey. So if we go back to this period around June 2019 up until this high in November 2021. So price went from approximately $12 a share to a high of $415 a share. And that was a move of over 3,000%. So a strong surge in price for Tesla happened in a very short period of time. But after reaching that peak in November 2021, price started to decline. Also note that the $400 round number, which is a psychological level of support and resistance, held price from advancing further. So we had a move above this round number, but price didn't remain above this level for too long before we started to see a correction. And this turned out to be a very deep correction. This move from the high of November 2021 to the low of January 2023 was a decline of 75%. So a 75% correction was a very deep correction indeed. Price came down, almost tagged the 100. If I just measure this low of the candle, came up to 100 and came down to $101. So price came very close to the $100 round number, but used this zonal area as support before we started to see a move back to the upside. And if I just measure from this low from January this year, so price has now moved up to its current price of 187%. So a nice strong recovery so far. We had this big candle in June, which was a nice continuation from the candle we saw in May. And we're just over the halfway mark for July and already seeing a nice sized bullish candle. As I mentioned at the start of the video, price is now approaching the $300 round number. Could it hold price from advancing similar to what the $400 round number did? We have to wait and see. So let's see how price reacts to this level. If we have a strong push above $300, then price is likely to continue towards the all-time high. But if price struggles to break through this level, one of two things could happen. We could see a sudden decline, or price could start to consolidate, struggle for the time being, before eventually breaking through the $300 round number. So this is a crucial point, which will be a deciding factor of where price is likely to head next. So I'm going to go down to the weekly time frame now. The trend filter here is green. Price is above the 50 and also above the 200 simple moving averages, which is an indication of a bullish move. So price is looking strong right now. As we can see, it's advanced well from the low of January this year. It moved above and below the 200 simple moving average a few times before eventually moving further away from this level towards the end of May, and price is continuing this impulsive move to the upside. I'm going to go down to the weekly time frame now. The weekly time frame is also displaying green candles. So when we see green on the weekly and on the daily, indicates a bullish bias, and price is also above the 20 and the 50 and the 200 simple moving averages, and these are all aligned. So the 20 is above the 50 and the 50 is above the 200, which is what we want to see in a bull trend. But what we also want to see is the 200 simple moving average angling up, as well as all the other moving averages. So when we see them all angling up and all aligned, we are in a strong bullish move. And right now, the 200 simple moving average is lagging behind, but we can see that there is momentum to the upside based on the trend filter and also based on the chart pattern of higher highs and higher lows. So I did mention that the earnings is due out, and the estimated earnings is 0.81. So that's down from the actual earnings in the first quarter of 0.85. So because we are seeing a reduction in the earnings estimation, it could have a volatile impact on price. We could see a drop in price or it could have an opposite effect. There's no way to know exactly what's going to happen. This is why we don't try to trade during earnings. We want to allow the market to do what it's going to do and then apply any entry positions after that if there are any signals to go long or go short, depending on which direction the market is moving. So just to recap, wait for earnings to pass. See how the market reacts to earnings. Once we see the impact of the earnings, then we start to look for entry opportunity. We don't want to guess what's going to happen, because even if there is a move, it's going to be a short-term move in either direction. So wait for earnings to pass. Then, because this move is bullish, if we see a gap up based on earnings, then we can wait for an entry opportunity. If we see a gap down, then we know to stand aside. If you are already in a position with earnings, you want to ensure that your stops are wide enough to allow the volatility to play out, and then you can continue managing accordingly once the earnings has passed by. So the $300 round number and earnings could be a strong contributing factor to help us decide whether or not we are going to look for positions in Tesla. So we want to stand aside for now, let this play out, and then take action accordingly. But Tesla is performing really well, as I mentioned, on all 3 timeframes, and it's likely to continue over the long term. But there will be some short-term obstacles. As long as price is able to overcome these, then we are likely to see a strong trend in Tesla. Similar, if I just go back to the monthly, similar to what we've seen in the past, we could see a repeat of this 3,000% move. If you like what you've seen today, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and also hit the notification icon so that you can catch all of our videos as soon as they are released on the platform. See you all on the next video.